day. Got the weekly drive, starting out the drive, right? 1st and 10, had a touchback at our own 25. You going with just bread and butter, just base his own run, gap scheme run here? We pitching backwards. What do you think?
No. We set the tone with the run.
Set the tone with the run? Look, I'll get into 2nd and 6.
Yeah, you don't want 2nd and 12, though. That's the problem. No false starts.
No false starts. Yeah. We're at home, right? What about
everyone's expecting a run? We're coming out and play action, taking a shot.
Taking a shot first play? Why not just boot? Go ahead and hit that over, that drag.
I mean, why not just put 20? Why not just put 50? You walk in, you put 100 on black.
You're scared to run the ball, it sounds like.
So you're scared to throw the ball, it sounds like.
Trust me, we're going to hit shots.
It's
a long week.
Look, there's a lot of things that I'll doubt. I will never doubt a former quarterback's ability to want to throw the ball, especially on.
This is the only run of the game.
That's exactly right. He's getting it out of the way. So you can do nothing but call passes.
There you go.
Notre Dame hands USC its first loss in dominant fashion. The Niners and the Eagles both lose yesterday, leaving no undefeated teams left in the NFL. And the Rangers take game 1 of the ALCS from the Astros in the battle for Texas. I'm Jake Crain. It's a loaded Monday show, and welcome to Crain & Company. Now, I love coaches that are aggressive. And I always say, you've heard me say it a million times, if I'm going down, I am going down swinging. But at what point does aggression become reckless or just downright the wrong decision? I mean, Dan Lanning's decision-making in critical games during his past and last weekend against Washington should be called into question after he refused to kick multiple field goals and for the second straight year against Washington, decided to go for a risky 4th down late in the game that played an integral part in deciding the game's outcome. Now, the Ducks left multiple scoring opportunities on the board in a game they ultimately lost by just a field goal. So at what point do you stop just blindly rolling the dice and just take the damn points, man? You don't have to just be one type of coach. That's a common misconception. You can take risks sometimes and play it safe other times. It's not always just one or the other. It's about picking your spots. It's just like blackjack. You have to know when to stay. It seems the only hole in the armor that Dan Lanning has is his unwillingness to not force the action. And in these big games, you can't always make the aggressive play. Now, hindsight is 20/20, and it's easy to sit back and question one decision. But this has become a pattern with Dan Lanning. Now, some of you will say, I'd rather have a coach that's aggressive, and you'd be right. But aggression isn't just deciding to take the most drastic or risky option every time. It's about knowing when to press the gas just enough. Cautious aggressiveness. Now, this doesn't mean that Dan is a bad coach or that Oregon fans should panic. In fact, they should do the opposite. The man can flat out do it with the headset on. But there will be growing pains as he ventures to the top. And maybe, just maybe, enough of these sour outcomes may sweeten him up to take the points or at least write something else on his card that right now only reads, screw it, man, just go for it. David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, my brother, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver, Blaine Crain. Guys, listen, I like screaming America sometimes. But every single time, it seems like every single time with Dan Lanning. Great example, right before half, 6 seconds to go. There's another half to play. Like, this isn't do or die. Oh, you're down 4, you got to go for it. Like, at some points, man, or at some point, just take the field goal. Even if it's once out of every 3 times, mix it up a little bit.
It started long before that. He went for a 2-point conversion on the very first touchdown that he got of the game.
Yeah, that's true.
It started from the jump with him. And look, I get it. I respect it in a lot of ways, but at some point, we only criticize these decisions sometimes when it doesn't work out, right? Like, sometimes you have to look at something and say that's objectively the wrong call. right? Like, no matter if it works or not, because if he gets the touchdown on 4th and 3 before half, and if he gets the first down on 4th and 3 in the second half, and they get all the 2-point conversions, then everybody's saying, oh, this guy's a genius and it worked, and you have to take those sorts of risks in a rivalry game. Whereas I was looking at it, I'm thinking, this is the wrong call, even if it does work out.
Yeah.
Punt at the end of the game, like punt the football away, rivalry game, a lot of emotions, take those points. But, it's going to balance out. Later in the season, he's going to do this again, and he's going to get some of them, and he's going to come off and he's going to look like a genius. I still think everything Oregon wants is right out there in front of them. They're a very good football team. He's trying to motivate his team and give them a shot in a close game on the road, but at some point, you got to just take points.
Yeah, and again, Blaine, I like, if you want to be aggressive 60% of the time, be aggressive 60% of the time.
Yeah.
But 100% of the time, it's like Dan Lanning is taking the most drastic option, and it will hit some and it won't hit others, but there's some nuance to it, right? There's feel. That's how the game is evolving, who you're playing. Like the last drive where he went for it on 4th and 3. If that's 4th and half a yard, okay, I understand it. I'll never question the Philadelphia Eagles lining up and going for it on 4th down and a yard and a half or less. That's the only team in the world. But 4th and 3, and if you turn it over, Michael Penix them is one throw away from taking the lead. Why not make them drive the whole field instead of just giving them the breakaway layup?
I don't mind the decision at the end of the game. You're trying to win the game. One play. I don't think Dan thought this defense was going to be able to stop Michael Penix with 1:20 left. I really don't think so. And I'm fine with that. You're trying to win the game, but you can only put your hand in the cookie jar so many times. The one I didn't like was the one before halftime. You drove down the field. You got to get 3 there. It's such a big momentum shift to get points going into halftime to whether you going for it and not getting points, and now Washington's up. Now they're even more ready to go. I'll never fault a guy at the end of the game trying to go win the game. Did I like the play call? No. You ran multiple sprint outs on big downs. Washington knew it was coming. But, Dan, you have to have the feel. You have to be able to read the room. And even the analytics. Like, the analytics was on his side at the end of the game. The analytics was not on his side at that play call at the end of the first half. Mm-hmm. So, I get being aggressive. It's fine. But you have to have controlled aggression. You have to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to run, and when to walk away.
Yeah, and here's my problem with the play at the end of the game going forward on the 4th and 3. Your defense just stuffed them inside the 10-yard line to get a turnover. On stuffed them. So you're up 3. You punt that back. Yeah, they may hit a couple one-on-one shots to Udunze or Polk or McMillan, but when you turn the ball over right there, you are allowing them the opportunity to score in one play. Not only score, but score a touchdown that then gives them the lead. Or excuse me, Oregon was up what? 4?
Yeah.
Oregon's up 4. So now you punt it, you pin them inside the 20, you make them drive the length of the field with not all their timeouts, with not a lot of time in predictable passing situations, and you make them go 7 to 9 plays to score, in my opinion. I feel like you gave them an easy out with that 4-point lead. I just feel like circumstantially, right after you stuffed them, I don't think that was the greatest decision. Now, if it would have worked, I guess you could say hindsight's 20/20. But here's my question. We always talk about analytics, all right? I'm not a mathematician. I'm not going to pretend to be. But somebody explained to me how sometimes these analytical decisions, like I need to see the work shown. Mm-hmm. Because, like, for example, it says if you're down 14 and you score, to go for 2 after the first time you score. I don't like y'all keep saying the analytics say to do this. I feel like the people are just saying that.
It's like Mike Tyson, spinal.
Yeah,
just broke my back.
I'm not in the mood to fight robots right now.
Yeah, but again, how in my mind, I understand you're saying, oh well, if it works, that's great. Now you score a touchdown to kick the extra point to win. But I'm trying to get back to where we're at least tied.
That if he didn't get that he would get the ball back with some time. I mean, you got the ball back with the timeout and 1 minute and 15 seconds left with Bo Nix-led offense. I mean, he knew, even if Washington scored, that he would have a chance with his offense, and he did. And, I mean, I was a guy who's going to think, at the end of the day, whoever has the ball in the offense last is probably going to go get a drive and win the game. So, I can't fault Dan. I'll never fault the guy for trying to go win the game with one play at the end when he doesn't think they're going to stop Washington.
So if it was 4th and 9, would you have gone for it?
No, obviously not. It's 4th and
what's
2.
the difference?
What's the difference? 7 yards.
If you think they're going to score and you can't stop them, it doesn't matter if it's 4th and 9 or 4th and 3.
But still, odds. I mean, percentage-wise, you're not going to go for it on 4th and 9. I mean, how many 4th and 9 plays do you have in that card?
Well,
not a lot. There's a bunch of 4th and 2s.
Again, what I'm saying is like the premise is that they're going to score regardless. So if you don't get it, you don't get it. Well, what does the distance matter?
If you think they're going to score, but obviously 4th and 2, okay? I mean, you have to go for that. If you think they're going to score 4th and 9, you can't. There's no way you can. At that point, you just lay it on the defense. We'll see what happens. But 4th and 2, you have the chance. You have the opportunity. Percentage and numbers are on your side. You go for that to go win the game.
I want to see
on the road.
At the end with the punt?
Yes.
I don't know how the mindset could be, well, Washington's definitely going to score. I mean, like Jake said, they just stuffed them inside
At the
3-yard line. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, hell, they got all the way down there.
I mean, they had
you stuff them one time on the goal line, and obviously, I mean, you don't think they're going to score?
You held them under 30 points. If you go pin them inside the 10 with a couple minutes left, you don't think your defense, like this Oregon defense I've been hearing about all season, is going to show up?
Well, another thing, too, is you had a
Have you seen Michael Penix with a minute left in all the games he's played?
Yeah, I mean, he's really good. I have him in my college football playoff. I'm just saying, you don't punt the football away. You're up.
Well, I think, too, a big part is it's a 4-point lead, not a 3-point lead. So they have to literally go score a touchdown. They cannot kick a field goal to tie. You go for that right there. You give them the ball at midfield. They can score a touchdown in one play, or if they get one first down, now they can tie it up with a field goal if you're only up 3, but you're up 4. Like I don't get why you don't make them go the length of the field with that amount of time, even knowing that you could get the ball up with a minute 15. But see, that all goes in the calculation. Dan Lanning knows his team better than any of us. But like my whole point is that you can't be all one way or the other way. Like there's got to be some. You know what? Hey, this 4th and 3, we're gonna go for it. But you know what? Before half, we're going to take the points. I want to get some momentum going in the locker room. I just feel like he's too one way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too, like again, it's like I'm going to cook the same meal every night for dinner. Like sometimes you gotta order a pizza.
I just think y'all believe in Oregon's defense more than Dan Lanning.
Now, I think maybe Dan Lanning legitimately thought. I was shocked actually that it wasn't some sort of RPO with Bo Nix. I thought they might run it. I thought Oregon actually might run the ball on 4th and 3 because they ran through. If you look, and we'll get to it right or wrong, Oregon, and you made this point yesterday, they outgained them in passing yards. They outgained them in rushing yards. They won the turnover battle. They won the penalty battle. Oregon outplayed Washington and lost. And I feel like one of the reasons they lost is because of Dan Lanning's decision making. I feel like that was an integral part of one of the reasons they lost. But we want to know what you think. Going to get to the chat in 1 second. Going to get to our power rankings too. But it's almost Halloween. All right. Every Halloween, you hear about dangers in the candy your kids will get. But this year, the real tricks are in the meat aisle. Yeah, guess what? M. Night Shyamalan, you didn't think that was coming, did you? Good Ranchers wants to take the trick out of your meat, and they're throwing in a treat. Yeah, that rhymed. For our listeners, for $30 off your order with promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. I'm telling you guys right now, it's tailgate season. It's grilling season. Y'all have steak, chicken, pork. They got seafood now. They've got everything. And it's 100% American source. It's not grown in some lab. There's nobody with a mask and a scientist's apron on, whatever you call that, sitting there putting together crazy different combinations. This is the #1 place in America to get the best pork, beef, chicken, and seafood delivered. That's with Good Ranchers. So take the mystery out of the meat aisle. Visit goodranchers.com and use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, to get $30 off with free express shipping on your box of America's best meat and seafood today. That's code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, for $30 off your box today at goodranchers.com. American meat delivered. We grill out all the time. Also, if you want to help the show, we're going to put the link for the merch in the chat. We would be much obliged if you guys would go grab some of that. We are so close to being able to restock that thing, and we want to do it this week. So, whether it's a Halloween present, birthday present, Christmas present, make sure you go check out that merch. Good Ranchers had some cheesy tacos the other day, Dave. Some chicken in the crock pot.
Wow.
That Reed made. I didn't make it.
Okay.
As we all knew. But I tell you what, man, it's Good Ranchers, the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, it is.
I love it. What if I just started handing out steaks to kids in Halloween? Would they do you think that'd be a thing? They'd get pissed?
Captain America.
Yeah, I'd be like, why is Blaine dressed up as a kid for Halloween? Please, me, pick me. All right, let's go to MG. What's up, chat? Let's have a good day to start this Monday off right. Could have just took field goals, but Bo is out there begging to go for it, looking like a little baby out there whining, then makes excuses in the book and post-game. Take the points. MG, I mean,
but you want your quarterback to go for it. I'd much rather my quarterback be like, hey, let's go for it, than be like, no, please, God, coach, kick it, please, God. No, I'd much rather be wanting to go for it. I'd rather have to, what's the old saying?
Whoa, then
I'd
go.
rather have to say whoa than go.
Let's go to Duck Fan Dane with the $5 donation. I would argue trying to blast Lanning for being aggressive is entirely because of hindsight. If you look at every time he did it, it made sense.
I'm not blasting.
No, it didn't.
I'm not blasting Dan Lanning at all. I think I picked Oregon to win. I've got Oregon winning the Pac-12. I love me some Dan Lanning. But again, two things can be true at once. I can love me some Dan Lanning, love me some Oregon, and also be critical because he chooses to be super aggressive every single time. Again, if this was one decision at the end, if Dan Lanning had played most of it conservative and went for it on that last 4th and 3 and didn't get it, wouldn't even have led the show off with it. But it's a pattern. Go back to last year against Washington. Into the game, goes for it on 4th and 1 from his own 33 in a tie game. At the end of the game, Washington ends up winning. We've seen it, and we've seen sometimes it works out. But you don't have to pick the most drastic thing every single time. And I think you'll see him start doing less and less of that, or at least being more even. So this isn't a Dan Lanning doesn't know what he's doing. This is Dan Lanning is just sometimes puts the pedal down and screams America every single time.
I'm saying you can't call these decisions right or wrong just based off the result. That's why when I see them going for it, and I was watching this game with my dad and I was saying this stuff out loud, I try and say this is the right call or the wrong call before I see the result.
Yeah.
So that I can be, okay, I was on record as saying this is the wrong call here and it still worked out, so that I can make note of that and say, hey, they got away with that one. And if that ends up winning the game for them, hats off to them. But we saw this yesterday with the Browns and the 49ers, too. The Browns decided to kick 2 field goals, right? They gave the ball back to the 49ers. Ended up working out for them. Yeah. And they beat the last undefeated team. Because
can't believe that. Huge for the survivor pool.
Let's go to Christopher Jordan. He says, is the Heisman race now Penix 1A and Bo Nix 1B?
Well, I think Bo Nix, they're going to have to do a lot, even though Bo, and if you look at the numbers, in my opinion, had just as good, if not a better game than Michael Penix. I think Penix is up there. Obviously, with USC losing, which we're going to get to in a minute with Caleb Williams, that drops him back. And now Brock Bowers, it seems like, is hurt, right? Drake Kurz tried to talk about it last week. Some of y'all still don't want to believe. It comes in different forms. That's the worst part about it. I would put Penix up there. When you're looking now, I think Jordan Travis, Jaden Daniels, even though LSU has 2 losses, has to be up there. I mean,
Bo Nix still got to be in there.
No, Bo Nix is still going to be in there. He's going to have his chances because I think we're going to have 2 rematches come Conference Champion Week. I think we're going to have Oregon play Washington again, and I think we're going to have Texas play Oklahoma again, which you can totally sign me up for. But yeah, Penix has to be 1A, right?
Got to be. All right, let's go to Devin 21 with the $5 donation. Devin, hey, thank you. Dubs up, fellas. In the end, Penix and the offense got it done.
Yeah.
Fantastic games. My nerves are still recovering. Shout out to Cone for riding with the dogs.
Yeah.
Coney, you've hit a couple of those this year, huh?
Like Washington.
Oklahoma. You started
Washington.
singing the Oklahoma song. That ended up working out well. All right, one more, and then we're going to move on.
All right, let's go to another donation. Let's go to Duck Fan. He says, I blame the kicker. We should have gone to OT. I swear, when I looked at that kick, I was like, it's too straight. It's too straight. I hate it. Put it on a hash.
You missed it soft and to the right. Like, just something about that. I coached special teams for a long time. And you know what? It's like me on the tee box. When I get up there, if I'm over-aggressive and I'm swinging too hard on my righty, guess where it's going? It's going left.
You're pushing. You're slicing that ball.
No. If I'm over-aggressive, I am pulling this thing left over the right field fence. When I try and be too perfect and slow it down, I slice it. That's when I slice it. I felt like he tried to be too perfect, didn't really attack the ball, and it just kind of died off to the right. You got to make that kick, but again, I just feel like if you kick the 2 before that, you're not in that situation. Do
you think if this game's out, Oregon, Dan goes for those?
At home?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, who knows? Because you have 2 ways to look at it. 1, we're at home. We have the momentum. Let's go for it. Or 2, we kick it. Now the crowd's going to be affecting them on offense as they have to march the whole way of the field. But with Dan Lanning, he's probably going to go for it. That's my whole point. Like, is there even a question? Dan's going to go for it. You can play that game in Zeta Reticula 4 or Mars.
I love that play.
Or underneath the Arc de Triomphe. Dan Lanning's going to go for it. You can't always call in the airstrike, dog. Like at some point, you got to start moving up the hill.
Ground troops going in.
Yeah, you got to get some infantry moving up the hill. All right, we're going to get back to the Booster Club. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you grab some of that merch. Little power ranking, David.
Let's do it. We have our power rankings.
We have our power rankings going in to week 8. All right, so there's obviously some movement. Okay, from 1 to 10, we got Georgia 1. Right, what didn't look great against Vanderbilt, but you ended up winning the game.
What was that? Georgia hadn't gave up a touchdown on Vanderbilt like last
Gave one up like the first
5 years.
10 seconds.
They came out and busted the 3 first coverages. I was like, great.
Yeah.
Great.
31.5.
Carson Beck.
Yeah. Michigan's at 2. Started slow against Indiana and then just beat them to sleep. Just beat them to death in front of God and everybody. So Michigan 2. Florida State 3. Came out absolutely whacked.
Rolling, kid.
Isn't Syracuse, shout out to Cusmo Jimbo, just the same team every year? You know, that they're like a roller coaster, right? They just start, they're going up. Look at them early. Click, click, click. Oh, halfway the year. Ah! Ah! Every time with Dino Babers, just going down,
You have to turn the TV off.
Yeah, just it's hilarious and also sad. 4, Ohio State, just hanging around. Got a big one this week, buddy. Penn State at home. We're going to find out what Penn State's about. So Ohio State 4, Oklahoma. That's right, 5 after beating Texas. Got UCF at home this week. Should be a bloodletting, but we all know Gus. He messes around and figures it out once or twice a year. Penn State at 6. Again, we're going to find out against Ohio State. Washington moving up to 7. And then North Carolina at 8. Is North Carolina the sneakiest team
in college football? In the top 10.
Yeah, just sneaking around. Texas at 9. All right, and Oregon at 10. And some people say, hey, how is Bama not in the top 10? All right, we got Bama right there hovering around. Didn't look great against Arkansas. We're going to get into that. But Texas did beat Alabama, so they're at 9. And Oregon, your one loss at Washington on the road. I feel like that top 10 is solid, David. Like I guess you could make, what team is not?
Fraud 6, Penn State, fraudulent.
Okay, that's one
we get
area.
to find out this week.
We're going to find out.
Fraudulent.
We're going to find out. And we're going to get into our Penn State, Ohio State preview and all that stuff eventually. But can they hit some explosive plays, David? Right now, just looking on the cuff of it, number 1, I don't think Penn State can score enough to beat Ohio State, but I don't want to put the cart too far ahead of the horse. So Georgia 1, Michigan 2, FSU 3, Ohio State 4, Oklahoma 5, Penn State 6, Washington 7, North Carolina 8, Texas 9, and Oregon 10. Tell us where you think we are right. Tell us where you think we are wrong. Going to be a lot of movement here in the next couple weeks in this top 10 as everybody starts playing together, coming together as one to find out and make good decisions.
One mega robot.
One mega huge transformer. All right, real quick, before we get into right or wrong. Guys, all right, are you tired of your team losing? Or maybe even more importantly, you're tired of wasting money on testosterone booster products that don't work. And we don't blame you, all right? Because you get older, you lose testosterone. You don't have to be a scientist or an astronaut to figure that out. It's just how it works. It's science. It's nature. That's why our sponsor, Nugenix Total T, lets you try before you buy. And you can get a complimentary sample when you text 231-231 and enter keyword Crain. Look, I'm about to be 35, boys.
Damn.
I know. That's what I said. I'm halfway through the race almost. Like I'm
think
horrified.
so?
Hey, boss.
I am scared to death right now.
You can make it to
Us Cranes, we don't live long, dog. We're here for a good time. Not a long time.
I made it to 29. Can't believe it.
Yeah, I can't. Dude, Blaine hit that over.
I'm on borrowed
Blaine
time
hit that
right
over
now.
6 years ago.
I'm on borrowed time
Yeah.
right now.
Blaine was sitting at 23.5 on DraftKings when he was 14. Not a lot of people know that. But when Nugenix Total T, guess what? Now he's got Testofen, which is what Nugenix Total T has in it, and it'll help you turn back the clock and re-energize your life. All right? And again, you can try it before you buy it. If it works, keep using. If not, keep the sample. You've got nothing to lose. You want to look better, right? You want to be able to go to the gym and absolutely lift everything up, right? Do you want to look maybe good for that girl at work you're trying to impress now that you're back in the game? Nugenix Total T, I'm telling you, you want to hit homers like Frank Thomas?
Yeah.
Throw Hail Marys like Doug Flutie, even though you may be a little bit shorter than the average quarterback? Well, guess what? That's what Nugenix Total T does. So get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T when you text 231-231 and enter the keyword Crain, C-R-A-I-N. Text now and get a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest and most powerful fat incinerator ever, with key ingredients to help you lose fat fast and get lean even faster, absolutely free. So text 231-231 and enter keyword Crain, C-R-A-I-N. Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required. Purchase message and data rates apply. Number one doctor recommended brand by primary care physicians based on independent survey conducted by IQVIA 2022. We need to time that one day. I want to see if I can get faster and faster and faster. It's like my 40-yard dash now. But seriously, check that out. It'll make you bigger, faster, stronger, and a better version of yourself. But speaking of better versions of ourselves, right and wrong, one of my favorite segments. And I want to start off today, fellas, where we're wrong. All right? Okay. I want to take the bad medicine first. And I'm going to go ahead. We just talked about the Oregon clip, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it up there. Let's go ahead and throw this clip. This is where I was wrong this past week. And always remember, physicality equals balance. And balance keeps you on the beam the longest. That's why I'm taking the Ducks this Saturday in a mega matchup of a disappearing Pac-12. They won every category. They were the more balanced team. But you know what? They didn't make balanced decisions. And when you don't make balanced decision, it affects your balance as a team, and they fell off the beam. Outrushed them, outpassed them, didn't outmistake them, less penalties and turnovers, and still lost the game. So I was wrong, but in a very narrow.
So you were wrong,
way.
but you were still right.
I was wrong.
It was wrong, but it felt so right.
It did feel so right.
Yeah.
Do you feel differently about Washington's toughness now, though?
I mean, and again,
that was your main point.
Well, yeah, and in that point, I said I didn't think they were soft. I just thought Oregon was more physical. I do think Oregon's a more physical team still. I do. I just think they made bad
tougher,
decisions.
Though.
Tougher, as in, well, I put toughness to physicality. So I guess you could say Washington's tougher than what I thought. But I still think that Oregon is more physical. And I think the numbers showed that. I think it just came down to one possession game.
I'd agree with that. I wasn't right about a lot this weekend, going to be honest. But I was wrong about Auburn. Went out on a limb. And look, I mean, you know, Auburn obviously hadn't showed anything great other than the Georgia game.
I was shocked.
At this point, you know, I realized this as a fan, you know, there's nothing we can do. We're just bad. It's just a bad football team. And I thought Auburn would get up for this game. I mean, you look at LSU's defense. I mean, hell, we could probably get 8 guys together and score at least 21, to be honest. And not only did they come out flat, you know, the one thing that got me, like, and we said it on the Sunday show, is like, look, I get your personnel's not great, but I should never question effort. I should never question heart. And that's what I questioned the second half of that LSU game. And as an Auburn fan, it was embarrassing to watch. I was surrounded by Auburn fans, which is surprising, being in Mobile. And, you know,
all 70 of y'all got together.
A lot of Auburn fans felt that way. It got to the point, man, that I couldn't even watch the game. So I thought Auburn would get up for this game. I thought it would be close because this game usually is. But just disappointing all around execution, effort. I know Hugh Freeze is going to fix it. Hugh Freeze isn't the guy. But I tell you what, it's hard. It's hard for me to look certain guys in the eyes after playing a game like that.
Yeah, I think Auburn could have got it as excited as humanly possible to play this game. I think they did get excited to play it, but once they were out on the field and realized how, and this is not an excuse, it should never go down like this, and realized how overmatched they were, there was a lot of quit. I agree with you, and that should never be the case. I just think Auburn is a much worse football team than LSU is, and they played them on the road. This will be the worst team Hugh Freeze has, but watching Peyton Thorne run out of bounds on 4th down and 1 and not try and get that yard, like I'm done.
You can never play again.
No, you like give that NIL money back. Yep. Missed on him, can't trust him.
Man, I was wrong about Oregon State's ability to score on UCLA's defense. They put up 36 points, really just incredible. I mean, DJ Uiagalelei was making plays from the pocket that just shows that he has all the skill set to be able to play at a high level. He really does. 266 through the air, 2 touchdowns, more importantly, no interceptions. Oregon State also rushed for 133. UCLA doubled their rush total. I mean, UCLA ran for 287 on Oregon State's defense. We've been talking about this Oregon State defense all season, which shows you just like how much Dante Moore is costing you at quarterback right now. Now, he's a young guy. He's a 5-star guy. You're playing for next season. You're playing for the future. I get those things. But, man, 3 interceptions, another pick 6, the same sorts of mistakes that cost you in a 14-7 game when you played Utah. Just not good for UCLA, but at least throughout the season they've been able to hang on that defense, and Oregon State came out, put up 36. Big win for them. I mean, they're a 6-1 team. They're 6-1.
It's been a long time since I've been as happy for a player as I am for DJU.
great.
Like sometimes, we talk about the transfer portal and kind of sometimes the negative aspects of it. This is one of the positive sides of it. DJU went to an offense that fits his skill set, that can be built around what his strength is. Not saying it's some intricate offense, but I just feel like Jonathan Smith does a really good job with quarterbacks, and he just looks comfortable. It looks like he's having fun. I mean, this Oregon State team, it's a good ball club. They got, one loss?
They have one loss. They're 6-1. They have a bye this week. Then they go on the road to Arizona. And the way Arizona's been playing, you don't want to play in Arizona on the road right now, which is fantastic that we're even saying that. We thought it'd be one of the weaker teams in the conference. Then after that, on the road at Colorado and Stanford, Oregon State's going to be favored in all three of those games before you get the back-to-back games of Washington and Oregon to finish the season.
So in reality, Oregon State controls their destiny.
They really do.
That you go win that one in Arizona, those last 2 weeks, are both of those on the road, you said?
Which one?
Washington and Oregon at the end?
No. Washington's at home. You go on the road to Oregon.
Wow. So I wonder if you could have a situation where you have Washington, let's say Washington loses to, Oregon State would be out of it. That'd give them 2 conference losses. Man, they could either play spoiler or crown themselves. That's going to be interesting to watch. That game against Washington at home.
Yeah.
That smells like the over. All right, where I was right. Real quick, let's play the clip. Now, Marcus Freeman has too much motivational talent, and this group has too much experience and pride to just lay down and completely die, especially when they can hand out some disappointment of their own this weekend against the Trojans. All right, Notre Dame. A lot of people talked about the dream crusher spot. So the same thing about Clemson going to Syracuse. Oh, you're out of it. They're not going to play hard. They're not going to get up. Embarrassment is an unbelievable fuel. We saw Clemson beat Syracuse, running out the front door, and then Notre Dame just handled USC in pretty much every aspect. If you're going to look at that game, defensively, you had turnovers, special teams, you had the kick return for a touchdown. Offense was able to do what they want, run it when they wanted. This is an old, pissed off team that should have been more mature than they were at Louisville, rolled their helmet out. They were ready for this one, put USC in a bad position. I know it's not a conference loss for USC. Everything is still in front of the Trojans. But, man, I feel a little bit vindicated about USC, David, too, after this last week because Notre Dame, handled them.
Absolutely handled it. I was proud to see that Notre Dame didn't quit. Like I said, they were a Sam Hartman scramble on 4th and 16 against Duke away from losing 3 straight games. And again, the OSU loss on the last play on 1 foot, you're losing to a really good football team. It's terrible not to have 11 guys out there to at least try and stop on the last play. But that loss is what it is. Go on the road, get blown out by Louisville to respond like this. This is the signature win that Marcus Freeman needed. Even if you won by 1 point, that would be enough. But instead, you blow them out. And, I don't care what you want to say about USC's defense. That's still the reigning Heisman Trophy winner.
For sure.
That's still Lincoln Riley, who somehow wins 10 games every single season. Despite what we say about his lack of postseason success and not having won a championship and all that kind of stuff, he still has rolled out a lot of good football teams with his time at Oklahoma, so far at USC. That's a huge win for Marcus Freeman. I'm hoping that with the captains they have on this team, like Sam Hartman, those sorts of guys, they'll continue this throughout the season, even though they won't make the college football playoff.
Yeah, go 10-2. See if you can't sneak into a New Year's Six or something.
All right, like I said earlier, I wasn't right about a lot, but 3 out of my 4 bets this weekend, I rolled with the big dogs covering. I think you're starting to see the big teams start to separate, and that's Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Georgia. Obviously saw what they did in Vandy. I feel like you're starting to see the cream rise to the top a little bit here. I think you really look at this Michigan team right now. They're the deepest they've been in a long time.
Experience.
In a long time. They got experience. And I was watching the Stanford-Colorado game. I didn't know two offensive linemen transferred from Stanford who are now starting on Michigan's football team. So it is new. They're coming together. P.J. Fleck came out and basically just gave them all the highest praise you could give them. I think Michigan, this team just feels different. When it feels different, I'm talking about the playoffs. I think this team is good enough to go win a game in the playoffs. I mean, Michigan right now overall looks like the best team in college football.
Well, I mean, David, I agree. I picked them to win it. I'm glad, but this Michigan team should be comfortable because they've been to the playoff twice. One time you just got big dogged by Georgia, and the second time you lost to a team you were better than. So they've been through all the ranges of how to lose there. I mean, you would think this team's. I watched them again. Indiana had that little wide receiver, ran that trick play, little wide receiver throwback off the stalk. And after that, Michigan just like inevitable.
I caught a lot of hell because the line was 33, 34. And I was like, they're like, Michigan's not going to cover this line. I was like, okay, just wait.
Michigan's like that. When I watched it, they're just like a tsunami that's coming toward the beach. Like but before it hits, you may have some time to run around and move around, but once it gets to shore, like it doesn't stop. Like they get that little bit of blood in the water. They're like a great white, man. They can smell it from 2 miles away. And once they get you, does it remind you a little bit of Georgia from a couple years ago where they would just squeeze you out?
Of course. They reminded me of Georgia a couple years ago. This is their identity for the last few seasons. The thing now is rise to the occasion. If you get that moment, right? Like if you don't think the Buckeyes want to come in, having lost the last 2 years, and beat them in Ann Arbor.
Oh, for sure.
Rise to that occasion. Because if you don't win that game, you can't win the division, right? That's the way it's looked like it's been going. You don't win the division, it's going to be tough.
Well, they're not playing down to the
playoff
competition either, which is refreshing.
It's something, yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
And
hey, Michigan State this week, rivalry game on the road. I mean, Michigan, it's clearly better than them, right? A better football team than them.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've been able to say that same sentence before and watch Michigan lose to them.
They blew it against Rutgers.
Dude, that Rutgers
oh my
game was
God.
That Rutgers game was insane.
Yeah.
Insane. I'm telling you, y'all going to walk these boys.
And this shows you all the difference that not only the depth, I mean, you've done the hard part on building up this roster, but getting the right guy at quarterback.
Yeah.
When you have J.J. McCarthy at quarterback, it opens up so much for you. Where I was right, I'll take Missouri. I really liked Missouri's chances to go on the road to Kentucky and win the football game. I thought the line was right this whole week, where Missouri was kind of just barely in that dog territory, that plus money. And look, they went in and handled business. I didn't think they'd win by 17 points, 38-31 at Kentucky. A tremendous win. Now you're looking at a one-loss Missouri team. Here they sit 6-1 in the SEC. Now you get South Carolina at home. That's a winnable game.
Very winnable.
Then you go on the road to Georgia. You get Tennessee, but then you end the season with Florida and Arkansas. Arkansas game is on the road. Look, this Missouri team, they're really
You
good.
gotta
Brock Bowers ain't out there for Georgia that week. You best watch out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and especially with Brock going to Tennessee, I know Joe Milton still struggles to make the routine throws routine. But I tell you what, crazy thing, I'm watching the Kentucky-Missouri game. Got it on the big screen. And I'm sitting there, and Reed's on the couch, and they're talking about Brady Cook, and all of a sudden it pops up on the screen like one of my tweets. And they said my name. I thought I had fallen asleep. Like I literally thought I was in a dream and like had to get up and like touch one of the dogs during that game.
You had to spin
Yeah, like spinach red. I was waiting for like Leo DiCaprio to run in there with a briefcase screaming and pointing a gun at me with like Antonio Del Toro or whoever that guy is like right behind him. But now I tell you what, man, you got to give Drink his flowers.
Yeah.
Missouri's doing this year what I thought Arkansas was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Arkansas again against Bama. I mean,
God, Sam needed that one.
That one would have turned a lot of frowns upside down. And I'm talking about all of a sudden that speaking about donos, that donation button would have started gotten hit
That was
more
one
and
of my
more and more and more.
picks.
Yeah,
Arkansas
dude.
on the road.
Like
Really?
Bama just let them hang around and hang around and hang around. And I'm telling you, at some point, like we said yesterday, Jalen Milroe, I love that he's trying to beat people from the pocket. I know he's excited about throwing for all these yards. And I know you want him playing quarterback. But, man, when it's there after that first or second read's not take off, dude. Like, it just feels like the running element of Jalen Milroe, he's getting himself caught in the pocket so much that he can't escape to a certain extent. I think there needs to be more balance there.
Well, if you called more quarterback design runs, you wouldn't need him to scramble.
David, I'm with you.
I'm not going to keep saying it every single week.
How much are they afraid to get Jalen Milroe hurt, do you think? Is that it, that they have nobody
I don't know.
behind him?
I have no idea anymore. I have no idea. When I'm watching Dylan Gabriel run for 113
I know.
against
I don't get it
Texas,
either,
I'm like,
dog. I don't
okay,
get it
you're
either.
bigger than he is. You're faster than he is. You're worried about getting hurt? Like,
He always gets hurt.
Either way. Another thing on Missouri, you beat Kentucky 38-21, and Luther Burden had 15 yards receiving.
I know.
And Kentucky rushed for 179.
Yeah.
That's a good sign
For sure.
Missouri.
That means you're not a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Brady Cook, man, and we talked about it. I want to give us our flowers. We talked about it all
Cook's
offseason.
good,
Brady
man.
Cook. It's like, oh, he's in a quarterback battle. It's like, listen, this dude eliminates 2 or 3 mistakes that he makes on the run per game, and he's going to be a problem. But we got phone calls. The line opens here in 6 minutes, 1-855-236-3228. Make sure you're hitting that like button if you're in the chat as well. Let's get to the chat quickly before we get
All right, let's go. Texas Ed. He wants to know who is stealing more, a fat guy at a buffet or Alex Grinch from USC?
Well, Alex Grinch is getting paid a lot more money. And listen, I'm sure Alex Grinch is a great guy. I don't know Alex personally. I've heard good things about him. His players obviously like him. But at some point, at some point, if you're Lincoln Riley, he's either got pictures of you or y'all have a promise ring or something. I don't understand how you want to talk about the anchor that is dragging Lincoln Riley down? And it falls on Lincoln. He's the head coach. No, not drag in.
Sorry, my bad.
Alex Grinch, what has been the one problem that Lincoln Riley's teams, whether they've been at Oklahoma or whether he's been at USC, what's the one problem? What's the one championship? What are the two championship phases that Lincoln Riley has? Offensive. I'd say special teams. You got Branch and all those witches running around out there that can return punts and kicks. It's defense.
Mm-hmm.
At what point? When's enough? When do you let your friend know? And I'm not saying Alex Grinch has a drinking or substance abuse problem, but when is somebody, do you get to the point where you just got to let them go, right? You got Jack. Sorry, there's not enough room on the door. In the arms of the angels.
Also, the guy at the buffet paid.
Yeah, he paid.
Do we know, though? Are you sure?
Well, if that's part of it, if he snuck in and ate, then yeah, he's stealing. But if he paid for the buffet and he's just sitting there and eating all day, don't say all you can eat if you don't mean it.
That's exactly it. Never-ending pasta bowls? Well, I'm about to never-ending. My time here is never-ending.
Let's go to Brock. He says, damn, how crazy would it be if college football playoff, if Missouri beats Georgia and makes the SEC championship, but only loses to Bama?
That sounds like some Missouri stuff to do. To me.
Wow.
Beat Georgia and then lose. No, but that sounds like how it works out for Bama always. Bama will find a way in. They'll find a way in. Always do.
You're hanging around.
Always do. It's oh man, we got somehow Vandy is in the SEC championship.
Because their loss is to LSU.
Yeah. Cross divisional.
Yeah. Second best team in the East.
Well, okay. So if they beat Georgia and
they're
they
in.
have the
Where does Missouri play Tennessee at?
They play them at home.
Missouri plays them at home?
Yep.
Ooh.
Play Georgia on the road, Tennessee at home.
Let's go to Nate Dogg. So it's a crap weekend in football in the world for me. USC lost to Notre Dame. BYU stomped by TCU. And my 49ers falling to the brown stains in the toilet.
Yeah, wow. Two huge ones for the survivor pool this week. Thank God I picked the Chiefs on Thursday. Eagles lost. Niners lost. Yep. I'm hoping it was just an absolute, bushwhacking when it comes down to that. It was a crazy week in the NFL. We'll get to that in 1 second. Just stay in the chat for one.
Let's go to Aiden. He says, you can take the Lincoln Riley out of the Big 12, but you can't take the Big 12 out of Lincoln Riley.
Well,
that's funny because that was going to be my point of what you said when Lincoln Riley was at Oklahoma. That was a time when we were saying, oh, this is a Big 12 defense thing, right? Then all of a sudden, Oklahoma State comes on strong with a big defense 2 years ago. Baylor comes on strong with Dave Aranda. It's wait, the Big 12 doesn't just have to have bad defenses.
No, this is a Lincoln Riley thing. Yeah. It's a Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch thing. Man, just look, bring in an old head. Bring in some old guy to just stomp around there. Just, make sure, keep those hoodlums in order.
Rex Ryan.
Yeah. Just some old guy just running the scream.
Yeah, I'm sure Kevin Steele will take it.
Yeah, he's been everywhere else.
300
years old.
All right, let's go to J Tate 125 with a $5 donation. Thank you, sir. He says, shout out to Air Force. Best start in the season in 20 years. Next stop, Sink Navy, baby.
Well, yeah, I think they're going to beat Navy to sleep. I tell you, two teams I'm looking at, and for one of them, it's sad. I'm actually super sad about it. It's Air Force, obviously, maybe the best group of 5 team in the country, or the wagon that just keeps
James Madison.
James
Roll
Madison.
with them this
the
week.
Wagon.
They are.
I am picking them every week. Every week. Against Georgia Southern, stop from the start. From the start. 14-0 like that. Just unbelievably efficient. If it's 3rd and 6, these cats are getting it. All right? I'm just telling you. I know it's one guy, and I don't know a lot historically about James Madison. I know he did some good stuff, but goodness gracious. And the reason I'm sad, I'm super duper sad, is that they can't win the Sun Belt because of some stupid-ass rule from the NCAA. How do you have a rule where it's your first year in the league or the first 2 years in the league and you can't win it? Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I don't see that for Texas and Oklahoma coming to the SEC. I don't see that for Oregon and Washington going to the Big Ten. But James Madison goes up. We had to do the same thing at South Alabama when we joined the Sun Belt. How about this? If we play a conference schedule, we can win the conference. This is unfortunate for James Madison. They're the best team in the Sun Belt by far, in my opinion. I think Troy's second. But I'm watching them play. They're the best team in Virginia. I think they're better than Virginia Tech. I think they're better than Virginia. I think they're better than William and Mary, who William and Mary may be better than one of Virginia and Virginia Tech. But man, James Madison and Air Force, shout out. That Wyoming Air Force game, by the way, was a fun game to watch. That was just an enjoyable football game to watch. 24-17, old-fashioned, in the elevation.
Nothing like a good old-fashioned.
Nothing like playing.
All right, let's go to Dakota Blackburn. You might want to get that checked. Hashtag Ask the Boys. We yet to see FSU play great on both sides of the ball at the same time. When that happens, they may be the best team in the country. They by far have the best portal guys. You saw that this weekend.
Yeah, I saw them play
Syracuse.
Yeah, they beat Syracuse like Syracuse stole something from them. I'm telling you what, man, Florida State seems like that team to me that they're really good in pretty much every spot. But in these games that comes down to 3 or 5 plays, they got Keon Coleman.
Who's
they
disgusting.
got like Johnny Wood. Like Keon Coleman's out there snatching the ball like it's one of those little.
And Johnny didn't play against
like
Syracuse.
a vortex. Johnny didn't play against Syracuse. The giraffe. I'm telling you, man. Like it just in these games, and we've seen it in the past. The top teams go against each other. Comes down to a few of those jump balls. Comes down to a few of those incredible plays. FSU has the cats to make those incredible plays. And Jordan Travis, man, just keeps on chugging along. But speaking of chugging along, NFL crazy weekend yesterday. Gonna capitulate, but gonna capitalize on what's been a crazy weekend with the Cowboys and the Chargers tonight. But David,
the 49ers, man. 49ers, best team in football, lose to the Cleveland Browns with P.J. Walker at quarterback. Not even the guy you paid $240 million to.
Not even DTR, who, during the preseason looked pretty good. That game, to me, Niners jumped out, and the Browns just hung around. But it seemed like in the second half, and I know McCaffrey went out, right? Deebo Samuel went out. But you still have Ayuk. You still have George Kittle. You still have weapons there. It just seemed like the Niners just never put the foot on the throat. And Brock Purdy, I mean, the ball was slipping out of his hands. He was missing throws on early downs with open guys. Brock Purdy's first regular season loss ever. How big, David, 1-10, with what we know about the Browns, with it being P.J. Walker, even though they have the best defense in the NFL, I think. 1-10, how big of an upset was this to you?
Oh,
was it 9.5?
Yeah, a 6.5 or a 7. But in terms of how they move forward for the rest of the year, how big of a impact will it have? Like a 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Just not like you can't go 17-0 anymore in this league. No. It's just like it's too competitive. There's too much parity.
I was just shocked, especially with the way that game started. I don't know. And then Fred Warner got the interception. I was like, all right, Browns hung around for a little bit, and here come the Niners. But comes down to what they do, David. You mentioned earlier, they took the point.
Field goals. And
now,
even then,
dude,
Jake Moody, the best kicker in
I would have lost
history,
so much money on that
with a straight shot, and even then, you almost win the game.
Like it just, I was shocked he missed it. I was like, well, Niners going to survive again. Brock's going to survive again, and then the Eagles lose to the Jets.
So no more undefeated teams.
No more undefeated teams. I will say this: the Jets. It's weird. They get ripped apart by Dak Prescott, but against Patrick Mahomes, right? Now against Jalen Hurts. I mean, it seems like every top quarterback they play outside of Dak Prescott, they've been able to handle it.
Mm-hmm. Defense keeps you in games. Like if your defense, like that's why the Browns are probably going to be in every game they play in this year.
Yeah.
One of the best defenses in the NFL.
But who's better? The 49ers.
The 49ers too, but I feel like
P.J. Walker?
It's close. I mean, it's close. Yeah, you got to remember, like, losing Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel's huge.
Huge.
It's huge. Like, Christian McCaffrey is by far the best running back in the league. Deebo's been hurt. Like, Deebo, how are you going to get in a fight before the game to get hurt in, like, the second quarter?
Yeah. Is Christian McCaffrey the best offensive player in the NFL?
Yes.
I mean, how do you say he's not?
Yeah, he is. 100%.
I mean, he can do everything. I like the announcer's like, he's pretty much as close you can get to an all-purpose back. I was like, dog, there isn't any close. Like, Christian McCaffrey is an all-purpose back. Like, that's not a question. Or he's really close. What can he not? He can even pass protect.
Yeah. Myles Garrett is so good at football.
Oh, Myles Garrett.
Oh, God. I saw him throw Trent Williams, which never happens, guys. Trent Williams is obviously the best tackle in football. It's not even close. If you go look through a highlight tape of Trent Williams,
it's like Trent.
He is sunning kids.
Trent Williams versus Myles Garrett is just like when like an immovable object meets an unstoppable force. Like every time they hit, I think it's like an op and
That's what the aliens are watching.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're
That's
watching.
what the aliens are
That's
watching.
exactly what they're watching.
Yeah, but I mean, the Jets, the Eagles are at 14-12, right? Jalen Hurts threw 3 interceptions. The first one in the first half wasn't his fault. The last one, though, was as bad as it gets. Like, I had to go watch the Skycam view of that from the back angle. I can't believe he threw that football.
I can't believe the 2 worst interceptions I saw all day was that one and the one Desmond Ridder threw in the end zone. Just one of the worst interceptions I've seen. I was shocked to see that because Jalen typically doesn't make that mistake.
And Zach Wilson, man, outplaying some of these big guys.
Rodney Harrison, though.
Last night, the Bills, you talking about a roller coaster in New York when you talked about Sarah.
What's going on?
I don't know what's going on with the Bills. I mean, they did end up beating the Giants, but play this last clip we had here for the Giants had a chance to win this football game at the end.
Oh,
I hate this so much.
like, can I be honest? I'm running this.
No pass interference?
Yeah,
That's iffy.
it's
You're both hand fighting, dog.
you gotta go out and make a play. Somebody's got to go out and make a play. I would rather them not call it than call it. But I tell you what, it's really hard for me not to line up and put 2 offensive linemen behind Daniel Jones.
That's best for you.
If that was you at wide receiver, you would throw your helmet at that referee.
Absolutely, I would.
Yeah.
But I'm
You would be
also not
crying.
6'7" and Darren Waller. So there's you're big enough to where even with a little bit of grab of a jersey, buddy, like you have to make that catch.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm running it, Jake. If you watch this whole game,
I
have Saquon Barkley in my fantasy, and I was driving home, and the amount of times I pulled up and it's like, oh, he lost 2 yards.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about Saquon running. I'm literally like, all right, Daniel Jones is a big human being. Is a big human. This isn't a little guy. Just maybe it's the defensive guy in me that thinks it's so much BS that you're allowed to push the quarterback forward when you also have forward progress on offense and I can't pull you back and where you go down, you go down. I think it's so ridiculous. How do you not just put 2 offensive linemen behind Daniel Jones and say, listen, we're just going to push your young Buzz Lightyear looking self into the...
And it's not even about this play for me. It's about the what you did before halftime if you're the Giants. Like, did y'all watch that?
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Yeah.
You are an NFL quarterback. Tyrod, that's why he was getting his ass ripped on the sideline.
Yeah.
He checked to that.
He did check to that.
You cannot do that in the NFL. That's how much 3 points matters in games like that.
I heard Dan Lanning told him to do it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I have to give a shout out to Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins. This is why I'm starting to believe in the Dolphins. They're up 21. They're covering the 14. They put in Mike White, who throws a pick six.
Yeah.
All right, I'm livid. I'm saying things shouldn't be said on a
And
Sunday.
Angry
for you to
cone.
say it. Angry
Angry
cone,
cone.
scary cone.
Mike
You're too
McDaniel
tall to get-
responds to that by going down the field and scoring a touchdown late in the game when he really didn't have to. You're up 14.
Yeah.
Because he wants to cover that spread.
He does.
Why? Because,
He's a champion.
good teams win,
Yes.
but great teams cover.
Dude, the Dolphins.
I'm hopping on board the
There with that. Dude,
No, I don't-
Mostert looks like a different cat. Like, does anybody
Well, I don't
notice
know.
that?
I feel but I feel like it's just the offense.
Well, no, like I'm watching him like break. Not that he didn't break tackles before, but he was more of like a straight line guy when he was with the Niners, like almost like short yardage. Like
seeing
I'm
what
watching him
Achan's
now,
doing.
and I'm like, yeah, and Achan's hurt, but like I'm watching Mostert. I'm like, this cat's running like Darren McFadden.
No, I'm saying but he's watching what Achan's doing.
Oh,
I'm saying,
dude, yeah.
Like they're rubbing off on
Jalen
each
Waddle back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to sit here and talk about wagons, I mean, how do we not sit here and talk about the Lions?
Dude.
I can't wait for power
Wagon.
rankings.
Hey, I can't
baby.
wait
I
either.
can't wait.
The gumball smoker. By the way, I like those Buccaneers uniforms. I don't care what anybody
The creamsicles?
I
Those are
love
dope.
I love them.
I love
those
them.
are dope.
I saw people hating on them on social media. I'm like, what?
I mean, play better, but yeah.
Yeah,
I love
I mean,
those.
look.
Well, they didn't play
White.
good in them before. Like, that's not even what it's about.
I mean, orange and white, great color.
I mean, it looks like I'm like, man, like, I'm just waiting for Shane Falco to pop up at quarterback for the Buccaneers.
So Cowboys-Chargers tonight. Cowboys are favored on the road against the Chargers. I think Austin Eckler's playing.
He's back, baby.
He's playing?
I feel like that the Cowboys got a little cute last game. The Chargers aren't great against the run. I got a Tony Pollard prop bet that I'm taking tonight. I think they're going to feed Tony P. But I like the Chargers to win this game. Because you want to know why? Because I don't believe in Dak. That's why. I just don't.
But do you believe in Brandon Staley?
Do you believe in magic?
Do I believe that Brandon Staley really is
girls,
Pete Buttigieg? Yes.
He does look like.
Dude, have they ever been in the same room? Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh my
Tell me I'm wrong.
goodness.
Like he's trying to go for it on 4th and 1 and fix the bridges at the same time. And neither's working. But when I look at the Chargers, I know Herbert's finger's a little messed up. You know who I think may be a great idea to take anytime touchdown tonight? That big monster Parham they got at tight end. Every time they get inside the 5, Justin Herbert's like, wait, who do I throw? Oh, the only guy I've got to look up
Wrong
at.
tight end.
Yeah. Oh, you're going Jared Everett first time touchdown, aren't you?
Wow.
Boy, you're using the dark arts with that.
I'm up like 40+ units on that.
I love it. Just hit a couple of the first touchdowns, the big ones. That Jacoby Myers who did it again.
I hit one Sunday at the Sun God.
Jacoby Myers scored again.
Yeah, the Sun God plus 850.
Wow.
Really?
First touchdown.
He scored the first touchdown?
Yeah.
I thought he scored the second.
No, sir.
Wow. He's really good.
Yeah, he's
thank
good.
God, when he's healthy, it's great.
He's
Nice,
really
man.
good.
I like the Chargers. In
Jamison Williams called touchdown.
65-yarder, baby.
J-Mo,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, like
It wasn't like he was just going to forget.
no. I was
Lions
like,
are
no one
good.
forgets how to run. You know.
So the Titans in London, boring. The Falcons at home.
Brian
against the
Bijan
Commanders.
caught another one. It's just
Dude,
He's shown
Desmond
change
Ritter.
in
I know
that.
it's Desmond Ritter's first loss at home, but like I just don't feel like this man's an NFL quarterback.
Who would you rather have?
How many chances did they have to win the football?
9.
They were down 8. They had 3 drives in the 4th quarter alone with the same score.
David, every time I was watching Red Zone, every 3 minutes they'd click back like, all right, Falcons are down 8. They got another chance.
Exactly.
And still couldn't get it done. Bengals held on against the
yeah.
Seahawks.
Back to
Dude, I'm
500.
telling you, somebody asked us this weekend.
Here they come.
He should have rolled with the Bengals. Joey B looked healthy last week. They were able to hold on this week. The defense at the end. I'm liking it. T. Higgins.
Hey,
looked like he got it
Jags,
going
Jags,
on.
Corey, lollipop in mouth.
Yeah. How's Trevor's knee?
Let's keep it going. It's fine. We talked about it. It's okay.
We're looking at it. They put some
locked him in a hyperbolic chamber.
They put some Neosporin on it.
Yeah, I know. We have voodoo dolls. We're doing a bunch of stuff to get it better.
The Dolphins, like we mentioned, absolutely pants the Panthers. I just wanted to say that. The Texans beat the Saints. Is that 2 in a row? Or 3 in a row?
God, Cody.
No, they ended up losing to the Falcons. Remember when
That's
Desmond
right.
Ritter led the
That's right.
comeback?
That's right.
But yeah, 30-6 over the Steelers.
I think we all
that
took
one.
versions of the Texans.
20-13 over the
the
Saints, man. Texans looking good.
Yeah, Rams dispatched the Cardinals. The Cardinals kept it interesting for a little bit.
I think it was 7.5, man.
Dude, they were hanging.
Josh threw that pick in the red zone.
Josh kind of does some sneaky things.
Yeah.
He's not.
Well, he looks like the guy who gave Doctor Strange his powers.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. 100%. And his mom.
Vision?
Yeah.
Is that it? Vision from the Avengers?
I
Is
think his
that it?
parents are from Men in Black. Like, if you'd have watched the Men in Black and you'd have walked in, you'd see those, like, 4 little whatever, like, cockroaches who can talk, and then those Joshua Dobbs' parents walking through the lobby. I swear to God, dude.
Oh my God! All right, we're gonna get to phone calls here in a second. Let's hop in the chat.
All right, let's go to Aaron. He said, I really wanted Desmond Ritter to work in the NFL, boys, from Louisville. Didn't get offered, but he got a 502 tattoo on his bicep. He went to St. X. Don't believe. If you had to choose one, Aaron, Desmond Ritter or Jordan Love, who you taking?
Jordan Love.
I'll take Jordan Love.
Really?
I'll take Jordan Love.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Justin Alferrari with the $2 donation. He says, why won't the Vikings just start the rebuild now?
Look, they got a dub. I don't know what you're talking about. Justin Fields got hurt, which cost me the over in that game. Just an ugly game. No Justin Jefferson for the Vikings. That's just when you had to survive. I'm telling you, don't quit on the Vikings just yet. Don't
Quit on.
Don't sell them down the river just yet. Like Minnesota
For this season?
For this season. Yeah, I wouldn't just go ahead and hit the they're done. I know they're 2-4.
49ers next.
Yeah, you got the Niners next at home.
They're going to be pissed.
Maybe get a little momentum.
pissed.
Hey, Christian, take a day. Take a day. Go get your little pedicure.
Let's put Debo back there.
Debo could do it.
This is my fantasy team I needed.
Look, Debo's nice.
I took down the #1 guy.
When he's not hurt.
This week, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, when he's not hurt. I don't think it'd be
Honestly.
crazy to sprinkle some on Brandon Ayuk for next week, by the way.
All right, let's go to 2 Crains, 1 Cone. I'll never get over that name. He says, why do teams keep getting in shotgun with less than 1 yard to go? Someone help me, please.
I'm done with the excuse. Look, you got this thing where you can just walk into grocery stores now and grab stuff, this Amazon Go thing, and just walk out. Apparently, there's cars that park themselves.
That's stealing.
Like, no. There's like a real thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah,
Like, we're
FBI
to the
breaks
point
into
now.
restaurant.
I am done. I'm watching offenses run RPO. I'm watching quarterbacks that can run it, they can roll out and throw it right, they can roll out and throw it left, they can throw it off platform, they can hit a golf cart at the Manning Passing Academy from 90 yards away. But we just can't get under center and take a snap. That's the line, right? I guess that's the line of athleticism. And, the old adage used to be, well, it's just not what we really do. And the quarterback center exchange, it's more difficult than it looks. A lot of things are more difficult than it looks, right? A lot of things going on in the NFL are more.
Golf?
They're hitting 56-yard field goals like it's nothing. It's called pre-practice. Every day at pre-practice, go out there for 3 to 5 minutes and take center quarterback exchanges and work on it. Work on it during special period. Hell, work on it during special teams. I'm sick of the excuse. It's just dumb. And you know what else? I'm not even talking about getting under center and turning around and going and handing it off to the running back. Because when you do that, you're basically doing the same thing. You're going backwards to go forwards. They are letting you push players with no penalty. Get under center, snap the ball, and push his goofy ass 1.5 yards.
And you saw it in the Washington game.
I mean,
Washington did it. I was like, what is going on here?
David, we're running reverse passes, jump passes, all type of crazy stuff, but you can't get under center.
It shows you how much of a copycat game it is, that people would rather just do whatever the status quo is in today's game rather than take the risk of doing something and being wrong. It's wild. Now, I think Michigan does this in a really good way. Sometimes they'll line up in shotgun on 4th and 1, but you see the quarterback lined up closer, and they're already coming downhill by the time the mesh point happens. So the mesh point ends up being about 3.5 yards, which is about what it would be when you're talking about taking a snap and turning around and handing it off. Now, I'm talking about to a halfback here, not a fullback. I still think fullbacks aren't being, because you don't have to push the quarterback. You could push any player. The fullback dive is not being utilized in the game right now on any level on 4th and 1. But even if you take the snap under center and turn around and hand the ball off, the mesh point is going to be closer to the line of scrimmage than what I'm seeing teams do, lining up at a traditional 5-yard shotgun.
It's insane.
And just handing it off.
It's insane.
Let me ask you this. If you're on the goal line, all right, and you're on the 1, and the team's about to sneak in, you're the defense, why are you not trying to jump the snap and jump over the center and tackle the quarterback?
Oh, I'm doing it every time. Not only am I doing that, I'm getting 2 of my defenders to push.
Every time.
Troy
Polamalu used to do this stuff all the time.
And guess what? And that's fine. But now, offensively, you can line up under center and run. I've seen variations. I think either the Browns this weekend or somebody else scored off a toss, making it look like it was the quarterback push. Like there's just like any other offensive play, there are counters that are built off it when the defense reacts because defense is reactionary. But it's just stupid, and I'm sick of the excuse. I'm sick of pretending I'm sick of us, rightly so, saying these guys are incredible athletes and they can do all this and they can run, they can jump, and they can throw it far and throw it right and throw it left and throw it off platform, but they can't line their ass up under center and take a snap from the center. We act like that is climbing the Empire State Building with a set of steak knives. It's not that impossible, but it's not impossible to get the calls either. I'm ready to get to him, David.
All right, let's do it, man. We got Hunter in Arkansas. Hunter, what's up?
What's up, Hunter?
Okay, I was going to talk about the Cowboys-Chargers game, but you guys got to it already when I was on hold. So I'll switch it up to the mozzarella stick Stacy of college football this weekend, and that was the Iowa-Wisconsin game.
Yes.
I liked it. I was crying watching that game because I was like, there's no way this offense is this inept. Like, how's your quarterback throw 37 yards? I'm pretty sure Cone in NCAA 06 threw more than that against Ohio State.
Which everybody's still let down about that, by the way. People didn't forget.
The easiest bet of my life that I didn't take.
It was
that I didn't take.
I literally was on the phone with my wife putting together this parlay and was like, I'm sitting here looking at this Iowa game, and the over-under is 34.5, and it is taking all my strength not to bet the under. Why did I not bet the under? Why could I not convince myself
it's the easiest bet ever
to bet the under? I don't know why, but here's the saddest part to me. It's not that Deacon Hill went 6 for 14 for 37 yards. I expect Iowa's offense to be that bad. That's just me waking up in the real world. Wisconsin offensively, and I know Iowa's got a good defense, but you score 6 points.
6 points.
You score 6 points. I mean, Tanner Mordecai, 12 of 20, 106. Braden Locke comes in, 15 to 30, 122 yards and an interception. You run for over 100 yards. You can't get in the end zone, man.
Iowa's defense, I mean.
Now, I know Iowa's defense is good, but Wisconsin's got pieces. Like Luke Fickell, I know it's going to take him some time. Tanner Mordecai's a good player. Braylon Allen's an NFL player. Like, you have some guys on this team, and you're at home. Like, it's and congrats to Iowa. Iowa's the worst 6-1 team I ever seen.
Yeah, they're 6-1 though.
6-1.
Minnesota.
They're gonna play Michigan in the Big Ten championship, aren't they?
I'm starting to think that's going to be the case too. Now they had to deal with Cade McNamara going out, but still 15-6, man. The under, like that was the one bet I was like, why didn't I take this? I knew this under.
Well, here's the thing. Like now they play Minnesota this week. I have to take the under. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it comes out and it's 17.5. Just like I have to take James Madison. I don't care what it is against Marshall. If it comes out and they're minus 108, I've got to take it. Like at some point, a wagon's a wagon.
Yep.
A wagon's a wagon. So Hunter, I'm with you, man. I mean, it was tough to watch, but
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious, I'm more disappointed in Wisconsin than anything.
I also have a very similar story to mozzarella stick, Stacy.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Really?
So, talking to just a couple of years ago, I'm talking to this girl, and like her and her best friend were like inseparable, probably like Stacy and Blaine.
Siamese twins?
And no,
Okay.
enough.
Oh, like inseparable just in general.
So we went to Chick-fil-A, and you know everybody's like, "Oh, grab a chicken sandwich, or whatever." You know, Lord's chicken and all that. I watched this lady grab the chicken, like the chicken sandwich, the chicken out of the sandwich, and just throw it across the room, and eat the bread and the vegetables.
No.
I guess she was vegetarian.
That
Whoa,
ain't a lady.
Whoa. First off, regardless male or female, you're taking the chicken out of the Chick-fil-A sandwich?
Yeah.
Yeah, in
But
Hungary you
else.
serve 8 years for that.
Yeah. Did she order it?
Did she just
She ordered it. And I straight up asked her, like, why didn't you just want to get a salad instead of just disrespecting Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
And you just ate the
like-
bread?
You see the Lord's chicken.
Ugh.
Yeah, just the bread. Just the bread and the pickle. I was so confused.
I'm still confused.
Yeah, I'm
Safe? Do you need Skyhook?
Are you
okay?
good?
Oh, dude, I literally stopped talking to that girl like
Good
2
for
hours
you.
later.
Yeah,
Good
I'd have
for
called
you.
the police.
Yeah.
But
she's
no,
being
Hunter, I'm
watched
glad
for
you made
sure.
it through that. If you have any stories like that, just let us know. We're all down to get better together.
Good for you, Hunter.
All right, guys.
See you, bud.
Appreciate it,
man.
buddy. Hunter,
Take it
that was
easy.
a good call.
All right, let's go to Tyler in Florida. Tyler, what's going on?
Ty.
Morning, fellas. How we doing?
Doing
Good,
good, man.
bud.
How you doing?
Well, I'm a Hurricanes fan, so you tell me.
You know, let me ask you this. Just as a Miami fan, I know you ended up losing the game, but were you happy with the way you guys came out after what happened the week before that is still unforgivable and people will never forget?
In the first half, yes. Other than the one fumble on the goal line, which it just seems to be a Miami thing. We can't get out of our own way. It's somebody somewhere put some kind of voodoo curse on us or something. I swear, I don't get it. We just can't have nice things. Like we come out decent, better than I thought we would, and then in the second half, I don't know what we were doing.
Well,
It
it's
was,
the third
We got
quarter.
outcut.
Like it's a
mostly
game of
the third
adjustments.
quarter.
You guys got beat 21-0 the third quarter. Can't happen. The crazy part is fourth quarter beat them 14-0. I mean, the third quarter cost you the game. I mean, really, you want to talk about a back and forth game? First quarter, North Carolina 7-0. Second quarter, Miami wins at 17-7. Third quarter, North Carolina beats them 21-0. Fourth quarter, Miami wins at 14-6. Excuse me. It's consistency, man. Like, and here's my question, Tyler. If y'all win last week against Georgia Tech, you think you win this North Carolina game? Because I don't.
To be honest, probably no.
Yeah.
I don't think we have the corners to keep up with the North Carolina types. I think our front's good. We're down some guys on front though, but no, I think but I do think I think when that fumble happened in the second half, in the third quarter, you could kind of see it like, oh crap, here we go again.
Yep.
And that's something we got out. We got to get that out of the culture. I know Mario's working on the second year, but we the players, and he's got to get that out of. But it seems like it's I've seen this show before. For 20 years. You know what I mean? It's tough.
Well, you need to get over it quick because you got Clemson.
Well, that's
this
what I was
weekend.
going to ask you. I like Miami to win this game. I like Miami to be. I think this is a much better matchup. I know it's at home for Miami than North Carolina's because I don't think Clemson has the guys on the outside that can hurt those corners like Tyler's talking about as much. I think this is a pretty good matchup.
You got Clemson, Virginia, NC State, Florida State, Louisville, Boston College.
Thank God for Virginia. That might be
and Boston College. Tyler, we'll see, man. I may take Miami on the money line. It opened up Clemson -2.5, but I kind of like Miami in that matchup at home. I think it kind of favors them a little bit. Oh, Drake's nasty.
I do agree.
Yeah.
Turn it around. And
I'm taking
guys,
him
I love
first
y'all. Y'all the best show ever.
Tyler, appreciate it,
Tyler.
buddy. Thank you.
Tyler.
You're in the
Appreciate
trust
it, man.
tree. Right? Hold on. Wait, there's Tyler. He's in the trust tree.
All right, let's go to Ben in Missouri. Ben, how you doing?
Hey, I just found out too, watching that broadcast, that Jake is becoming really famous. You know, seeing his tweet on the broadcast like that.
It shocked me. Like it's you got to understand. Like you watch so much football, like and because when we're watching it, right, we're having to like remember important parts of like every game. So I got like the multi-view on, I got the laptop on, I got the phone on. So once it gets to like 5 PM, like mentally, I'm not trying to sound soft. I'm not trying to sound soft. They put my tweet up during the ESPN broadcast.
No way. What game?
It said my name.
What game?
Missouri, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Love it.
They're talking about Brady Cook. I'm like, no joke. I am sitting there. I say sitting there. My dogs all freak out. I put a chair from my kitchen table in front of my big screen TV with the laptop. You can ask Blaine. You've seen this. With the laptop on the desk that's holding the TV and my phone propped up on the desk. So I've got 4, 5, 6 games going at once. So by the time Missouri and Kentucky came on, I actually, for some reason, just had that game on one of them. And I had that volume on. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, got my eye on it. And I think I looked over at another game and I just hear Jake Crain has his back. And I'm like,
Yep.
On ESPN?
yes. I'm like, am I losing my mind? I was like, am I? So then all of a sudden, obviously I start getting messages from all type of people. Like my buddy from Mississippi messaged me. He's like, dude, I'm watching the game, whatever. So I went and had to rewind it and looked and saw they had my tweet on there. That's what they were talking about. So yeah, Ben, that caught me way off guard. Because y'all know, I mean, we got boys that work at ESPN, but we're not exactly the biggest fans in the world, so that kind of shocked me.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it's like that Leonardo DiCaprio. I can't remember the movie where he snaps and points at the TV.
Dude, that's exactly.
I remember that guy.
Yeah.
Maybe with Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Isn't that the
Once
one with the
Upon a Time in
Astros?
Hollywood.
Once upon a time in
Oh,
Hollywood.
that's right. Yeah, it was like that. I literally was like, wait a minute. It just it caught me off guard.
God, when's your book coming out?
The book that I'm writing about Iowa's offense.
Yeah. It's one page.
Huh? It's called How I Didn't Score Iowa's Offense in My Life Early in High School.
Oh man, no! I wanted to talk about how I was going to talk my crap about Kentucky because they've won a lot of the recent matchups, including that ridiculous roughing the punter last year.
I forgot about that.
Figured that I would instead talk about how much of an actual poverty program Kentucky is according to Mark Stoops. I guess he was talking about how they can't afford after they got beat by Georgia. Kentucky fans need to throw more in the collective. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Are they ever going to be good if they can't get their players like you said?
It's not helping basketball. Again, they throw all the money that Kentucky has in basketball, and I partially blame Drake for that, but that's a story from another time. I will say this. I think Mark Stoops, and we talked about this last week, David, was that I think Mark Stoops is right that Georgia has more NIL money. That's not the only reason players are going to Georgia. They're going there to get to the NFL. But see, you say that to the donors that I know you have a back channel with. You don't say that to the fans because, one, it makes your players feel inferior. How are you going to sit there and tell your players, hey, we're good enough to go win, if I'm sitting here telling everybody in the world that we don't have good enough players because y'all aren't paying them enough, therefore what we have isn't good enough. And two, nobody likes hearing somebody complain about being broke, especially when you're in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a narcissism race. It's an arrogance race. It's an arms race. You need to walk. It's like going into prison the first day. You got to watch in there and punch the biggest one.
It's like
we're better than Georgia.
It's like dating a girl and just only talk about her exes.
Yeah,
it's unattractive.
That's a great way.
Unattractive move.
It is unattractive. I'm with you 100%.
Exactly. I mean, I don't get it because I don't know why you would have said that in public. You know, I mean, I hear all these things that Missouri doesn't belong in the SEC. Well, I mean, I guess we have more money than Kentucky.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, in your mind, it's one of those things where he answered it in his mind and didn't realize he was saying it out loud. Like, it's almost one of those moments. Because I always say, as a coach, when it comes to the media, if you're going to say something that may be controversial or anything in general, wise coach once told me, if you're going to say anything to the media, ask yourself this question: is this helping my team? Mm-hmm. I don't see a way in which what Mark Stoops said is helping his team. You're either going to give or you're not going to give. But you don't want to come out here begging, man.
Missouri's got it rolling, Ben.
Let's go, baby.
They do. It's a great time.
Love it.
All right, we know what happened last time.
Cover against South Carolina. We're going to cover against South Carolina.
Got to. This is one of those weird South Carolina figures it out games. It's at Missouri.
Yeah, got to be.
You said the line's 7, Ben?
7. Even.
What's the over?
Not over enough.
Missouri.
I didn't look at that.
It's going to be a lot, and I'm probably going to take it.
Appreciate it, Ben.
Great call. Ben.
Thank you, man. Yeah. All right, we got Dane in Washington. Dane, what's going on?
Dano.
Hey, so I had to call and admit I was kind of wrong.
That's all right, Dane. 10. That's all right.
I thought there was I'm not going to lie, there was a couple bad calls I didn't like.
By Dan Lanning or the officials?
Did you remember the tight end play on 4th and 1 on Oregon side of the field that Washington threw?
Yeah.
Out to the flats. I thought that wasn't a catch. I thought he bobbled it and it was incomplete.
Oh, yeah, he caught that.
It was. I think it was a catch. I agree. I agree with Cone. But
it was a bad throw.
Yeah.
It was a surprisingly bad throw from Penix, but the tight end just went down and got it.
It's amazing. You're going to bail that guy out. You're going to bail Penix out like in the one bad throw he has. The guy still makes a catch, just like as a defensive guy.
That's how you win tight games.
Yeah.
You know, rivalry game.
True.
That's true. And I didn't have a problem with them going for it on the 4th downs. What I had a problem with was in the first half, it's 3rd down. You have a timeout. You have 10 seconds left. We're running to like 7 yards of carry. Why don't you run up the middle on the 3-yard line? And if you're going to go for it, run again.
Yeah.
That could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, I think Dan doubted. Like, I don't know why, but like Dan doubted running the ball on 4th down. And I don't know. One thing I kind of go back and look at this game, I don't think Bo Nix uses his legs enough.
I don't think so either. I was saying that
Bo Nix is a weapon
game.
using his legs, especially on 4th downs. It's keeping the read.
My problem with the sprint out was Bo is dangerous when he scrambles around and the receivers can break down the defense.
Yeah.
He's not as dangerous when you just sprint out.
And you rolled out to his left.
And you kept running sprint outs on 4th down. Like sooner or later, like fool me once, shame on me. But I mean, fool me can't get fooled again.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I like the play calling. It's just like every situation kind of called for it in the game, like to go for it, in my opinion. I thought we get the ball in the second half, but our defense can't stop anybody at the end of the second half. So I guess the thought process is, if you get the touchdown, get another touchdown because no one could stop either offenses in the first half. Then you're up 2 scores.
Well, you're doubling up. Take the points because if you kick the field goal and then go score a touchdown and start the second half, that's 10 points as opposed to the 7 that you can get. Sometimes a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush. Like it just.
Let me ask you this, Dane.
I do agree if there's.
Let me ask you this, Dane. You come out, Oregon comes out, scores first, they get the touchdown, immediately they go for 2. I don't know if they scored first, but their first touchdown, they go for 2. What are your thoughts on that when you're watching that?
Oh, I liked it.
So did you like it just because they got it, or if they don't get that and now they have 6 points instead of 7, would you still like that aggressive mentality from the jump?
I'm fine with it because we're naturally an aggressive team and we've always gone for 2. That's why I said I didn't have a problem with going for it, was because I can't be hypocritical and say I like the 2-point conversion because they got it, and then not like
the
calls
surprise
because-
element was there.
Well, no. See, here's my whole point, Dane. That's not being hypocritical. You can like going for 2 after scoring your first touchdown of the game, and still want them to kick the field goal before halftime. That's the problem in this whole thing. You don't have to be one way or the other. This isn't you picking a character at the beginning of the game, and it has to be either fire or water or you can be multiple.
I know.
It's called coaching.
I did not have a problem with the 4th and the one that I had the most problem with, if I was to have a problem, was not taking the field goal at the end of the half.
I agree with that.
I agree 100%.
We were down 11 on 4th and 3. It makes sense to try to go for it because Washington wasn't getting stopped. And I didn't have a problem going for it on 4th and 3 at the end of the game because you win the game if you make it. And the defense was stopping them anyways. They just held them on 4th and goal on the last drive. And it left enough time for them to go down. And that's my biggest problem. The kicker, you're a senior. You should make that. There's no excuses.
Dane, if I could ever give you any advice, if this is the only thing you can take, I'll give you 2 pieces of advice. All right? Never trust a ref. Never trust a kicker. Never in your life.
I know. I'm an Oregon fan. USC, Stanford.
Yeah.
All sorts of games that kept us out of the playoffs over the last 10 years is because of a kicker. Either way, I feel more confident coming out of it. I thought we were the better team in just about every way.
Yeah, you'll have it. You go undefeated. You have another chance at them.
You will.
Unless they screw it up. So
we only have one road game the rest of the way that's ranked, and that's Utah.
They're not done.
Rising. So I feel very confident. At that in Arizona State. Everybody else, USC, Washington State, Oregon State, and there's another one, but I don't think they're ranked.
Yeah.
We'll see. Home, so
yeah, we'll see, Dane.
Great
Let
call,
us know,
Dane.
buddy. Great call.
See you, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Kirk in Canada. Hey, Kirk, we got 1 minute here. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, guys.
What's up?
Since we're a little short on time, I know 10 o'clock's coming, or 10 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock your time. I'm going to go right to the hockey question, skip my college football question, because I know you guys love hockey.
Oh, yeah. I'm just keeping up with the Flyers.
1-1, baby.
1-1.
Oh.
500.
So you guys probably know that on Saturday night, Austin Matthews became only the fifth player in NHL history to score back-to-back hat tricks on the first two games of the season.
Good start.
Wow.
So he could become tonight the only player in NFL history to score hat tricks back-to-back in his first 3 games of the season. So my question is, should a DNA test be done on Austin Matthews this season after every NHL game?
DNA
to make sure
test?
he's
You mean
actually
drug
a
test?
human being?
Yeah, no. It's like DNA test to make sure he's a human being. I tell you what, if he does it 3 times in a row, I might just retire if I'm Austin Matthews after that. It's only going downhill from there. And the second thing is, he became you said the second NHL player to do it, first 2 games?
He became the 5th, and the first since Ovechkin.
That's that number I heard that it surprised me that there have been 4 other guys that have gotten hat tricks to start the first 2 games. I want to ask you this, Kirk. What do you think about Bedard?
Bedard is a phenom. He might be. I think he's going to be the first rookie since Sidney Crosby to score 100 points.
Dude, have you seen this cat?
No. Connor Bedard?
Oh, he's unreal, boys.
I get it. I get it.
There's an international tournament. It starts the day after Christmas. It's called the World
Beer Fest?
Juniors, and Canada. It's pretty big up here in Canada. Anyway, Canada usually dominates. It's for under 20-year-olds. Everybody under 20. He went in the tournament last year and the year before as a 16 and a 17-year-old, and he broke every record in the World Juniors. And he wasn't even 18 years old.
This man's doing things with the puck.
Incredible.
Like I'm not. Y'all know I enjoy hockey. I get into it, especially in the playoffs. And I'm not watching it 100% like I watch football and stuff. But I know when something looks different. This cat's different.
Oh yeah,
the Leafs, baby.
This guy.
I'm looking on DraftKings right now. There's no Austin Matthews hat trick prop bet, unfortunately.
I don't know how much the odds would be in your favor on that one.
I mean,
might not be bad to sprinkle 10 on it.
like, what are the odds he has yeah, I mean, the odds would be what?
No,
To
they'd
score
probably
a
be
third
about,
hat trick in a
I don't
row?
know.
Shoot, right now, that's all he's doing.
I mean, they would just do it for the game. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably has the
All I know
worst
is-
odds of people scoring a hat trick.
Oh,
I
for
bet on
sure.
that.
But still plus
Yeah,
what?
it'll be plus
800,
whatever, yeah.
plus 1,000, plus
It's gonna-
1,500,
It's going to be interesting, Kirk. We're
Yeah,
going to keep our eye on it for
It'd
sure.
be plus 1,500.
plus
All I know
1,500.
is that 12.5 looking better and better every day, boys.
Yeah.
Hey,
we'll see,
look,
buddy.
I don't know.
We'll see,
500.
buddy. Long
Philadelphia
season.
fly.
Might get a call up. Who
Thanks,
knows?
Kirk.
Work on the Achilles.
Yeah. Oh, it's Connor Bedard's brother,
Yeah.
Bonner Bedard. There he is.
He has a gun. What?
And a mustache.
He's got a gun and a mustache.
Yeah.
Sign him up.
I got cleared for the mustache too as well, so that's coming back soon.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Excited for you. He'll be excited.
myself. Yeah.
That's
You got
exactly
cleared
right.
from your lady?
Yep.
Okay, good.
She told me to do it, so I was like,
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
bring it up.
Really?
Bet. All right, appreciate it, Kirk. Also, the Rangers, boys. Rangers
Yep.
won the first game of the ALCS over the Astros last night.
Jordan Montgomery shoving.
Did shove. And Verlander didn't
Shoving.
pitch bad.
No. I mean,
6
2 to
2
nothing.
thirds, 5 Ks.
You're going to get low-scoring games the further you go in the playoffs. That's just how it is. They need it tonight. Astros need it tonight.
Yep.
Don't let the Rangers. I'm telling you, the Rangers just been listening to Creed
Yeah, they
in
have.
the locker room. I've never believed in a team more than that. The Battle of Texas, the old Alamo Showdown. But all right, let's get to the chat real quick, Blaine, before I head over to bets.
All right, I'm hitting these donations. Formerly Darth, $5 donation. Says,
Darth?
welcome to Separation Saturday again.
Again,
Who left the fridge open? Great weekend for college football, boys.
that's great. That's a great donut right there.
Let's go to Ethan Andrew with a $10 donation. Thank you. The guy with 2 first names. Says, bowl matchups I would love to see. Washington, UNC, LSU, USC, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia. No idea
Yeah.
where this would actually happen, but the postseason race is heating up.
You know-
and fellas, I'm here for it.
Yeah, you know why you want to see those matchups? All those teams are like exactly the same as each other, right? It's everybody always talks about, and I say it. It's fun seeing contrasting styles go against each other. But you know what's really down to the nitty gritty? 2 teams that are like exactly alike that are good playing each other, like are good at the same things. USC, LSU. Good God.
What would the over?
80 to 73? That's a basketball game, fellas. Michigan versus Georgia. You better put the women and children to bed. Just close your eyes and hear that one.
Yeah.
Like a train run into a tornado.
Let's go to John Breschers with a $5 donation. John, thank you, sir. What would it take for 2 Pac-12 teams to make it in the CFP? Okay, he says 12-1 CC. I don't know who that is.
Conference champ.
Oh, conference champ. Thank you. Oregon 12-1 in Washington.
Yes, that's exactly what would have to happen. You'd have to have one team with 1 loss or both teams. You'd have to have Oregon would have to beat Washington in the conference championship, and then one would be 11-1. The other one, they'd both be 12-1. No, they'd both be.
The question is for 2 teams from the
For 2
Pac-12 to
teams.
get in?
That's
Yeah.
about the only way,
And the
right?
conference championship will have to be a razor-tight game.
Yeah, either that or do you sit here and say, does Washington play, is there another undefeated Pac-12 team that Washington could play in? I mean, USC lost to Notre Dame. It's not a conference loss, but conference-wise, not. I think the only undefeated team overall that's left, right, is Washington, right?
The what now?
The only undefeated team left overall in the Pac-12
Oh,
is
yeah.
Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, they'd have to be Washington.
Man, the problem is you'd have other 1-loss teams
Yeah.
who lost their conference championship or a 1-loss team who didn't make it in their conference championship, like the Buckeyes last year.
You'd need there'd need to be some movement
You need
outside.
help.
Like you'd need a Georgia to lose at Tennessee. Or,
Yeah,
or something
and
like
then
that.
lose to a 2-loss
Or
SEC
Florida State
West.
lose.
That could help you out a lot.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Ryan Gade with a $5 donation. He says, who chokes more, Braves in the postseason or a fat guy to all-eat buffet? Hashtag go Phils.
The break.
That guy at the buffet is getting hammered today.
He's not choked.
Getting
He's not
hammered.
getting-
No, he's just absolutely gobbling it down.
Yeah,
I mean,
Braves
it's over-
choke.
Yeah, the Braves are choke artists.
Let's go to Bryant Ward, $10 donation. Boise State in full disappointment mode.
Oh.
What needs to change for the
Oh.
Broncos to be successful after the bye at Wyoming? Most people are calling for Avalos's job. Is that the move?
I think you need to learn how to catch an onside kick. That's what I think you need to learn how to do. Did y'all see that Colorado State Boise State game? Boise State was up 20 with 5 minutes to go.
In the fourth?
In the fourth, Colorado State
Up
scores
20.
a touchdown with like 4 minutes left.
Yep.
Gets an onside kick, scores the touchdown. So now they're down 6 with a minute 19. Kick an onside kick, get it, illegal touching. They touched it too quickly or they hit a guy too early before the ball went 10 yards. Kicked onside kick, didn't get it. Take the ball over at their own 15 with like 26 seconds. Go all the way down the field. Throw a Hail Mary basically from the 40 going in. And win. Catch an onside kick. You blew it, dog.
Brian Harsin back.
I blame Brian Harsin.
Yeah.
I will forever blame Brian Harsin. All right, Duck Fan Dane, $2 donation. Rangers beat the cheaters.
Yeah.
You're damn right. And Taylor Russell, $2 donation. Seeing Bowers leave with the injury made my eyes rain.
I told you the Drake curse is real. Sometimes it takes different forms, right? Sometimes it's the voodoo doll. Ah!
I just don't know if it can still be real when the Raptors won the championship.
But so let me ask you this.
How do you break it then?
If you're a witch.
How do you break a curse?
Okay, let me finish. If you're a witch, okay, and you put out 20 curses, and 19 of those 20 curses work, don't you think that that's a curse?
I'm trailing you. I'm trailing your bets.
I just said, like, how do you break it? Yes, all 20 teams have to win a national championship?
No, I'm saying you have to have more teams that win other than just one out of like 20.
I feel like if it's a curse and if you win one time, the curse is broken.
Do you want Drake to become an Auburn fan?
You must have not seen.
It ain't gonna matter. Drake ain't out there playing quarterback. It don't matter.
I
He
think
doesn't want-
It doesn't matter.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
It
As
doesn't
somebody
matter.
who is on the
Your last album's ass.
I know.
Okay.
like if somebody's on the
You've been a
Trust the Science
disappointment.
movement, you're just so all over the place.
You're a big,
not.
You're a big
I'm not.
disappointment.
It's
I'm not.
wild. Make a decision. All right, give me the Chargers. Money line tonight. That's right. I don't believe in Dak. I know the Cowboys typically bounce back after they get embarrassed. I'm a little nervy about it. I do think they're going to try and pound the ball, but give me the Chargers plus 102. Austin Eckler's coming back. Speaking of which. And then Tony Pollard, over 66.5 rushing yards. Pound it, Dallas. Let's go. Getting healthier up front. Those are the two bets I'm taking tonight. Plus 102 for the Chargers and minus 115 for the Russian prop bet.
Double nerfy for me. Rangers, Astros, no runs first inning, minus 120. Phillies, D-backs, no runs first inning, minus 125.
Super smart.
All right, here we go. Give me the over in the Chargers-Cowboys game. I like points in this. Going off of minus 110. Look, I've been pretty doing well when my first touchdown scored this year. I'm going to stay with it. I'm running with the boy from South Alabama. Give me Gerald Everett.
Gerald.
First touchdown going off at plus 2,000. Let's keep it hot. Hit one Sunday in the Sun God plus 850. Hit Jacoby Myers. Stay with it.
That's a 20-unit play?
Yes, sir.
Wait, you hit that one on Sunday? Was it a show bet?
Yeah.
Why didn't I see that on the... We got to check the standings. I don't think they got that in the standings.
That came out today?
Because that's like an 8-unit play, right?
Yes, sir.
Came out yesterday.
Well, if there's no standings out today, then, I mean, they haven't changed.
Oh, I thought I saw it maybe come out this morning. Maybe I'm tripping. All right, Ace. He's going to ride the Lightning with me. He's going to take he's going to take the Chargers plus 102 on the money line. And then he's going to Astros to bounce back, beating on those trash cans, and hopefully beat up the Rangers. Minus 120.
All right, poll. Okay, someone needs to vote on it. Come on. Who wins Saturday? Penn State, Ohio State.
Well, it's even right now.
OSU 50%.
Blew it over here.
I'm going to say Ohio State 51%.
Come on, somebody. Somebody throw it in there. All right. Penn State, 50%. Ohio State, 50%.
Wow.
I'm voting.
On how many votes?
Give me Ohio State.
There he
How
goes.
many
I hit
votes?
it.
470 votes.
Wow.
So, I mean,
That's right down the middle.
It's toy.
It's right down the middle. Hold on. Give it 15 seconds. That time.
Come on.
Let's see. Who does
Somebody.
it? Who does it?
All right, hold on.
Okay, 3 people voted, but they voted opposites.
Come on, guys! Somebody make an executive decision. This is going to go forever.
It's killed.
Wow.
I'm ending
That's
it.
it.
I'm
That's
ending
it.
it.
All right. And just like the chances of y'all being able to make a decision between Ohio State and Penn State, make sure you like,
Penn
subscribe.
State 50, Ohio State 49.
Okay. All right.
There it
Penn State
is.
won the poll. Now I got to rechange it. And like the chances, me being upset because there's not any football on today. Oh, wait, it's on every day. We're going. Oh, no. That was
Ew,
awful.
gross.
God.